All right, what's happening, everybody? Hold up. Let me make sure I get this right. I think Lincoln is going to join me, but I'm not sure. But just in case he doesn't, let me go ahead and get this off my screen. What a hell of a way to welcome the NFL back on a great Hall of Fame game. This game came down to the wire on that last drive by Haynes King. I know there's a bunch of people that were watching, man. There was a bunch of people that were watching, and if you weren't watching, sorry to say that you're just missing out on some great football. First of all, I do want to call out, man, everybody that thought that Carson Beck was this really crappy quarterback for whatever reason. He came out of the gate tonight and he did his thing. So did Haynes King coming in. And it's so funny. It's so funny to think about the maturation process of these college quarterbacks now. The one thing I did want to say, Kenny Pickett is ass. He's the one thing that I always try to tell you guys whenever we've talked about quarterbacks throughout the years is, and I told my wife this tonight, why is this dude just constantly just dump off the pass? Like he never it's like he goes through his progression and he panics. There was so many times where they pulled the camera back and it was like, holy crap. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have gone in a different, or he could have gone in a different direction completely. Let me go ahead and get Lincoln up in here. But we're going to go to, talk about the beginning of the game too as well. Let me go. Oh, there he is. Yo, can you hear me? I got him full screen. Got him full screen for the people. Hold on. He'll get his life right here in a second. But and make sure I go ahead and pull this down as well so I could separate the cameras as he's getting everything together there. But yeah, man, hopefully everybody enjoyed the game. But hey, I just wanted to say, well, how about Carson Beck in the way that he came out the gate tonight and slowly proved everybody wrong on the type of quarterback he was. And it's kind of like I was telling somebody, when you think about Carson Beck, what Shane Dawson was trying to do down there in Miami, I don't think really fit him. I think Mike Bobo's scheme really, really fit him better, but it's neither here nor there. He is an Arizona Cardinal. Can you hear me? I can't hear you for some reason. Hold on. Let's see if I can get his life together here. Yeah, your sound's not coming through for me. Okay. Oh, I hear something now.
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go.
Right,
there.
Okay.
Hey, what is happening, my brother?
I'm doing good.
It's an exciting game. Let me go through these comments real quick. Of course, Manny. Haynes King. Yes, the fact that I got to interview Haynes King is crazy. He played great. But did you watch him in college, though? Because some of the stuff that he did tonight was college. Haynes King. Haynes King said, "Hold my mother effing beer." That is correct. What a game. How you feeling, by the way? I'm feeling good. I'm actually going on vacation tomorrow, so... yeah, not bad for Beck and King. King QB2. Yeah, Kenny lost his job to to King after this. Oh yeah, that Haynes King is definitely the number 2. He's done just slid right into that position of being at least quarterback too. And if I hate to put it like this, man, but if my man Bryce Young messes around this year, they already saw how gutsy my man was playing tonight. Found the horizontal. Okay, yeah, we got both streams rolling. So, first of all, Lincoln, how did you feel about the game today, man? I thought this was a great introduction back into the football season.
I think, yeah, I really do like how I think it's a really good introduction to football, and I think most of the time, I think hugely a lot of QB play showed off like how good they are throughout this whole game.
Yeah. Let me go and kind of pull back the obvious. So first couple of drives for Kenny Pickett were just total duds. I don't think he can control the offense whatsoever. A lot of the things that he does are just self-inflicted. I think the running game in general, for outside of AJ Dillon, the running back depth, and I know we haven't seen Jonathan Brooks. He hasn't played in 2 years because of injury. We know what Chuba Hubbard's about. I think he's one of the most underrated backs. But their depth at running back is lacking right now, to say the least. Jimmy Horn and John Mechie and those guys, I'm starting to think that their wide receiving core now that Chris Brazzell is... I hate that Chris Brazzell got hurt, man. It totally hurts my soul to think about that. But without him, I don't know what their depth at wide receiver looks like. But let's get over to, let me go ahead and pull up my notes, because the first thing that I wrote down here today was Andrew Billings, the defensive tackle for the Cardinals. I think he earned himself at least some spot on this roster for the Cardinals based off this first game. I know we got Dana in here who's a Cardinals fan. Started out the game, sack, tackle for loss that really should have been a safety. And then the next play after there was a PBU, and I think they pulled him for the rest of the game. So the defensive tackle unit, I can't wait to see what that looks like with Nolan Smith as well, being in that position. I think the Cardinals are a lot better than what people are giving them credit for, just based off of this preseason game. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think they really are. I think Donovan Knight really also shown that he belongs into the roster too. That it was like, even though like they're stacked on the running back roster, Donovan Knight showing that like hey, like I'm still there. If anybody goes down, like I'm able to fill in like last season.
Yeah. Bam Knight did his thing. One of the players that I was high on in college coming out of Cincinnati was Corey Kiner. So it was kind of cool to see him do his thing. Made a couple mistakes there, that false start penalty or whatever as well, but can be shifty. I want to see him get a lot more carries throughout this preseason, and see what. Yeah, I said Walter Nolan. Yeah, my boy Walter Nolan. But obviously we can't talk about the Cardinals tonight without talking about the the surgical drives that Carson Beck put together. I thought they were going to pull him earlier than they did, to be honest. I'm like, dude, after the first touchdown, or after the touchdown pass that he threw, I was like, go ahead, pull him out. Like, and then he's in there the next drive. I'm like, I don't know what else this guy has to prove at this point. But shout out to Jalen Brooks stepping up to the plate too tonight. I mean, he was one of the standout receivers for tonight. But what'd you think about Carson Beck?
I think he has really I think like a lot of the time that I watch him is just like everything just looked refined, his footwork and the way just ball placement, and I just like he could like potentially fight for like to be QB1, but overall I think placing as a QB2 right now, I think it's really in there.
I think you need to just like you said, slowly. Let's not blow our heads up here off of a game where this team had some really bad depth, but let's take our wins and slowly inject this thing into being a quarterback competition, because there are just some points in time where you have to call a ball, a strike a strike, and then one of these things is like Carson Beck hit a home run. I don't know how we'll get into Haynes King here in a little bit, but I don't know how you, I tweeted this. I don't know how you look at Carson Beck and Haynes King today and say that J.J. McCarthy is a good NFL quarterback or needs a shot in the NFL. I don't know how this relates all the way to J.J. McCarthy, but if you've been following this channel for a while, you know my disdain for the amount of people that just believe that this dude is a great quarterback. But Carson Beck and Haynes King just seem like they're on another level of quarterback compared to somebody like J.J. McCarthy, man. Just in a preseason game with backups. I mean, they look like the ultimate pro. So I'm proud of Carson for the simple fact, like, not you, but with Sora and a lot of other people throughout the years, I've been waving the Carson Beck flag for a long time. I'm like, dude, how can we always hold the flame to this guy because he makes one mistake in the game? Like, there's not 10 other, over 20 other starters on this team that could have made a mistake. It always just comes, I mean, for the quarterback position, you get praise for the wins and you get blamed for the losses, but it always seems to be like a Carson Beck interception at the end of the game that people are just like, oh, he's a horrible quarterback. And I don't know. It seems like Mike LaFleur, the system that they were running today, man, he was running it like an all-time pro. In my opinion, there deserves to be a quarterback competition after this week. I think Jacoby Brissett can't sit comfortably at all.
Yeah.
The J.J. McCarthy straight. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I just these guys have a lot. Carson Beck and Haynes King have a lot of college experience, man, and some, obviously that bodes well whenever you come over. And a lot of people were talking about like his release early in the game. I'm like, dude, this is his first NFL start, like on Hall of Fame night in front of Hall of Famers. Like, there's going to be some obvious things. One dude that I want to call out, Xavier Weaver, was pretty good in this game. Reggie Virgil, man, the drops have just carried over from college, and a lot of people know how I feel about the drop balls and things like that. Like, when you see a high drop percentage in college, it usually doesn't get better. I mean, Xavier Worthy just never got better. That's why I'm so afraid of guys like Casey Concepcion with the Browns, like, coming in, and like, I just don't think that that's going to get better. But overall, was there any standouts from, the Cardinals outside of those guys where you're just like, hey man, he's definitely got my eye?
To be honest, I think Xavier Weaver, even though his number, like, statistically number doesn't look good, but the way I've seen him just like kind of like run his route is just like, whoa. It's just kind of like, I'm really surprised, like, just like the amount of like how much separation he gets and beat off press, and I just like he could be really good if, like, I think giving him like the chances. Yeah.
Simi Fehoko having that touchdown catch as well. We only got to see him with one target, but obviously a guy to keep an eye on. Look, when you have your receiving core that looked as good as they are with a bunch of no-name dudes, because that's what a lot of people are going to say, and a lot of people didn't watch these guys, but I mean, clearly a lot of us remember Xavier Weaver from Colorado, right? And him being kind of like the first one of like the star players of Colorado to come out and have high hopes, and you're kind of starting to see that gear turn. But these guys have a lot of depth that I'm surprised of how much they had, because and I think we're going to be really surprised with what the Cardinals are going to put together this year with Mike LaFleur. And I was one of those guys that I was like, you know, when all the head coaching searches were going on, and we had him, and we had what's his name, Kubiak, and a lot of these other guys, I was like, why is nobody talking about Mike LaFleur more? Because I mean, his offensive game planning seems really, really good, and I'd rather take him because of how creative he was. He did some really creative stuff tonight and got these young guys flowing. And one guy that I'm scared of is Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm telling you, man, if he doesn't step up to the plate this year, this might be a trade candidate for them, because they just have a bunch of young guys that are hungry. I mean, why would you want to slow down that wide receiver room with a guy like him? But I think this is a game that he probably should have played in tonight.
Oh yeah, I don't know, because like I think he said, like when we were watching like the whole training camp and everything, he just looked horrible. It's just like his route running was like sloppy, lazy, and then kind of dropping a lot of passes in training camp. Like I know, like we can't really take training camp seriously, but it's just kind of like you just see like the amount of work. You can see like who's gonna like out hustle him.
Yeah. There's I mean, you could take training camp seriously, but like a lot of people just don't know what they're looking at, or don't understand what the game plan is for a lot of these guys, right? Like a lot of people see these 11-on-11 drills and they take everything with the, you know, wholeheartedly, and it's like you don't know why they're calling this play, you don't know why they're calling this defense, you don't know what look they're going to, you don't even know if this is a simulated 11-on-11, let's get ourselves down the field. So everybody just takes it at face value, and then you see the clips on Twitter and Instagram and things like that, and then people are like totally racking their brain on like, oh my God, this dude's going to be horrible. But what I can take away is the one job that Marvin Harrison Jr. is supposed to do is catch the ball, and he's dropping consecutive passes, and all you see is that on Twitter. Like, come on, I'm not going to take that with a grain of salt, bro, because everybody thought you were going to be generational. But then you see these guys tonight, these no-name receivers stepping up to the plate and running I mean, it looked like I was watching a regular season game with Carson Beck as a starter. I'm gonna just be completely honest with you. On defense, Austin Keys, man, the linebacker from the Cardinals, I thought he was pretty good too. He was flying all over the field as well, so he might find himself with a roster spot. But let's get over to obviously the winners of this game. I think both of these teams came out as winners, to be honest. Like, if you could put a W in the win column for both of these teams, I think you walk out of the Hall of Fame game. Not only one of the best Hall of Fame games that we've seen, wasn't boring whatsoever. A lot of people stepped up to the plate, and we got to see that final drive from Haynes King. One thing I wanted to see from Haynes King tonight was him actually throw the ball. Right? I always used to say about Haynes King, like, that he is one of the toughest dudes. He's one of the most underappreciated college players that we've ever seen. And we got to see him actually throw some really good passes. Some of the passes of the night tonight. What'd you think about Haynes King, man?
Like, I didn't watch him much in college because, like, usually Georgia Tech rushed a lot of balls, and it's like kind of like King didn't really stood out since he was running in that offense, and it's just heavy run plays. So like I'm really kind of like, I was actually pretty like surprised like how much he threw so well in the football, especially I think like when running in Georgia Tech, you know, you just run simple offense and just run heavy.
Yeah, I wanted him to get out of the. I mean, everybody, if you've ever watched Haynes King in college, everybody knows that like sometimes that offensive prowess was we're going to run the ball all the time. And so that carried over to him playing the quarterback position whenever they needed tough yardage or like we needed our first down. It's typically his bread and butter. Like he's gonna put his shoulder down and run over your best player on defense. And we didn't see him panic like that. I don't want to say he panicked. That's just was what was in his DNA at Georgia Tech. But this time around, we got to see Haynes King sling the rock and be really, really good and efficient. And he should be as praised as much as Carson was today, to be completely honest. That last drive where he had the 2 tough runs, the one including the touchdown at the end, that reminded me of the best parts of watching Haynes King in college while showing this new version and this expanded version of what he can be in the NFL. So came out there with 0 sacks, for the squad. So that's pretty good. But ending the game with 3 touchdowns, man, that's a hell of a rookie performance to go ahead and put there on your mantle. Your first week out. He looked totally comfortable, man. Calm, cool, and collective. So Dave Canales had him, and it's good that Bryce Young was so hyped up about it too, because it's a healthy quarterback room to be in my opinion. To not feel threatened by the guy that's there, because if something happens to you, the ultimate thing that you want to happen is something happens to me in the game. I need my backup to come in and carry the mantle for it and get that W for our team. And I feel like Haynes King, the dynamic of Haynes King and Bryce Young is only going to push Bryce Young to be better now. So
it's funny because when you say like Haynes King and Bryce Young having that relation dynamic, you could just see like Kenny Pickett on the sideline just like
he's pissed.
Yeah, he's pissed. Yeah.
He's pissed. He's gonna get to me like you got outdueled by 2 rookie quarterbacks that weren't just checking the ball down. They were slinging the rock, man. I mean, I'm sitting there watching Kenny Pickett go through his progression. Jatavion Sanders goes through progression, check down to Jatavion Sanders. Go through his progression, check down to the running back every time. And he wonders why he doesn't have a starting job in the NFL. Yeah, you might have a good, what they say is he's 16-11 or something like that as a starting quarterback. First of all, what the fuck? Second of all, like, you're not a starter, bro. It just is what it is. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, like, the whole 2 gloves or 1 glove gimmick, and I just didn't see it in college with him either. So, I mean, take that for what it was. But it seems like when the Steelers drafted him, they were just like shooting in the dark trying to find their next guy, and just wasn't it. But it's been a journeyman up to this point. But yeah, you do. That is a good call out because he was on the sideline. I was thinking to myself, like, yo, this dude is fucking mad right now that he's getting outdueled by 2 rookies that, like, they're taking chances, man. That's what NFL quarterbacks do. Like, the ones that are great, the ones that grow into their own, or the ones that take chances, get the ball down the field, and they drive this thing. He's not a driver. He's like he's not a truck driver, bro. He's an Uber driver, bro. Let's get you to your next destination, and that's about all I can do. Like, nah, I got the whole package, man. We got to go from point A to point B. We got to get this thing in there, and in the right amount of time. But Haynes King looked wonderful, man. I did have some problems with. I don't know if you remember that one pass that happened. Was it in the third quarter or before halftime? I can't remember, but he hit Jimmy Horn in the end zone, and Jimmy Horn was like trying to one-hand catch it, and everybody said it was a terrible pass. Shit wasn't a terrible pass. Jimmy Horn should have just thrown 2 hands up there and tried to catch it. I thought he was just trying to do like a hot boy one hand, try to touchdown catch the shit. I don't know. That's just how I felt about that play, but I didn't know if you seen it or not.
Well, I think when I remember when I was like playing football, because when I was doing practice, all I know is like when the coach says like if it touched your hands, it's your fault.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's how we coach it. I mean, as a quarterback, you're just like, yo, that's on me, right? I know Haynes probably was like to Jimmy, that's on me. But Jimmy should have thrown two hands up there, man. I don't. I think that was a catchable ball. I watched that replay like 5 times. There's dudes on Twitter that's like, that was a bad pass. But even if it was a little high, I think if he would have at least jumped a little bit and put two hands up there, he would have looked like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
But instead, he tried to one hand hot boy try to catch that shit, and it didn't work. Like, I don't know. I totally disagree with the consensus on that one. Trevor A-Chain is not his brother. Let's go ahead and hang that experience up. Anthony Tyus is a bad running back. Listening to Casey Washington's name pop up, it was crazy, but he wasn't all that great on the targets that he got. I think Jatavion Sanders looked pretty decent early in the game, but there's nothing really for me to pull away from this and be like, these guys are good. I thought Jackson Kuwach, the linebacker, he was pretty good for the Panthers, and Zachy Wheatley was flying all over the field when he could, take a shot. Will Lee had some really good plays at the beginning of the game, and then I see Lathan Ransom. That was my guy coming out of Ohio State. What did you see? What happened to him? He was like bleeding on his neck, and did he bust his head open? Like,
I think so. I'm not too sure because, like, I don't know, because all I know is just like he's just started bleeding, so like I can't really tell like what happened in that play.
Yeah, I think it was the hit that he laid on Jalen Brooks on that wide open pass that Carson Beck threw, because he came in like a fucking missile and cleaned. Like if you watch the replay, he cleaned his shit completely out. And then next thing you know, my wife was like, I looked away for a second. We had ordered pizza tonight. Looked away for a second, tried to get a piece of pizza, and she's like, rewind that shit. Is he bleeding? And I was like, who? And Lathan Ransom had like, I mean, it looked like a horror movie. But hopefully he's all right. But I thought this was a fantastic game. Special teams wasn't all that. I mean, John Mechie had a pretty good return, but
I think for the Panthers, they don't really know who's actually. Let me see. Or I think was it the Cardinals on, because I know they kind of switched up on a lot of like returners, so I don't know who's like the main returner right now.
Yeah, it was between John Mechie, Anthony Tyus, Jasim Reed, and Jimmy Horn Jr., which I thought last year Jimmy Horn was taking the majority, or was supposed to be the guy. Actually, before I speak out of turn here, let me look up the stats from last year. That's right. Trevor A-Chain was their guy. Chuba Hubbard was returning kicks. Rico Dowdle, DJ Dallas. What the hell? I haven't heard that name in a long time. Okay, so Jimmy Horn didn't return any kicks last year. Weird. Because I thought I remember them talking about specifically last year that he was going to be more involved in the special teams, but maybe this year that's what they're looking for. So I think the reason Ahero started late in the day is because he wanted to see some hitting today, is what I meant to say. He wanted to see something because he was out there thumping for sure. Yeah, I mean, This was a great game. We just wanted to. I think we're going to start doing some of these recaps more, man. Just after some of these games, I'm going to be on vacation from tomorrow for the next fucking 8 days or whatever it is. But wanted to kind of get this game in. Everybody enjoy the preseason games next week, man. There's going to be a lot of football, so I'm coming back to a lot of homework that I'm going to have to do, but let me check the, what's the schedule looking like? So is it next week or am I tripping?
I think it's next week.
Yeah, the 13th. Okay. So next Thursday, you guys got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Detroit, Cincinnati, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, New England, Arizona, and Las Vegas. Well, if Arizona look like they look today, I'm curious to see what the Raiders look like, because I thought they had the second worst draft next to the Jaguars. I think I don't know what the draft strategy was of some of these teams. Chargers in Houston, Tennessee, and San Francisco. So when I get back, it'll be that Saturday. So I might be able to. Oh no, I get back Thursday, so I will be able to catch some of these, I guess. Depending on what me and my wife are doing. Whatever the wife wants to do, that's what we're doing. I got no say. Devin Duvernay and Smith Marset are the Cards returners, I believe. I don't think either played. Let me check real quick, because I don't remember. Harrison Wallace. Why did they have him as number 300? Okay, number 30. So Harrison Wallace from he played at Ole Miss. And Xavier Wheeler had 125-yard kick return today. So, and then Xavier Wheeler had a punt return tonight as well. No punt returns for the Carolina Panthers. Interesting. What a good way to start the preseason. If it's anything like this, man. So the one thing that, if you guys want to be a better watcher of the preseason, because I enjoy watching the maturation process of a lot of these guys. Start paying attention to like what the rookies are going to do. Start paying attention to some of the camp battles that are happening, and kind of who's like on the fence of like making a team and things like that, and try to determine, those players that really need to step up and do things to make the team. Because I think that's super important going into this, and will actually help you as you watch their preseason, to be like, all right, I need to start paying attention to a lot of these guys. Because, you got to think right now, a lot of these rosters are starting, 70, 60, 68 plus players right now. And then they're going to have to narrow this down to 53 here, not next week, but the week after. I think they have to narrow down to 53 by week 2 of the preseason now. So going into the third week, this is pretty much a finalized roster. So we're not going to be able to see these guys for very long like we used to in the past. Like, things have been super accelerated. Cards Bader stay healthy on D because that depth isn't. Also, BJ Ojolari is looking slow. His speed was supposed to be a positive. Now, yeah. I was looking around for BJ Ojolari tonight, and I felt the same way. Anytime that I saw him like kind of off screen and things like that, I was like, what the is that BJ Ojolari? It's just, I don't know. It didn't give me the warm and fuzzies watching him today. But Austin Keys was awesome. So there's definitely some there's definitely some things. I still think that the offensive side of the ball, Dana, for the Cardinals is the positive. There's a lot of things that you can work for, especially the depth that now you guys have at running back and receiver. I don't know if it's just because a lot of these guys have stepped up to the plate or not, but I just feel like the depth is even better than what you guys had to previous years. And maybe that's just Mike LaFleur being very, very creative. He either overran the pocket in the pass rush or was looking slow trying to catch a running back quarterback on the side. That's that's when I seen him the most, was like just running towards the sideline, not even in frame of the play for whatever reason. I just saw the number 9 just kept coming across my screen. So not sure what was up with that, but yeah, man, I think that's it for this game. Really good game. And any game next week that you're looking forward to, Lincoln?
I think right now I'm looking forward of. I think just watching the Steelers, and I want to see how Drew Aller's going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please don't let him be good, because I'm going to be insufferable this year. I mean, I hear there's a lot of fans that they're done with Aaron Rodgers already. They just want Drew to come in. I mean, just pump the brakes, man. Pump the brakes. But he's been the talk, man. I mean, some of the things is just undeniable. What did I tell everybody, Lincoln? I tried. See what happens when you get a competent quarterback that can be a pocket quarterback and keep his arm warm the whole time and throw the damn football. It's kind of amazing how things happen like that. There's no reason why. My boy on Twitter put out his top 10, resent his top 10 to me. He had Sawyer Robertson at 7 and Drew Aller at 8. And I like Sawyer Robinson, but I don't think he was one of the better quarterbacks. I just like some of the things that he does. I think he's a good dude too. But there's no. I said this is hurtful to even. I said this hurts my feelings that you had Drew Aller at 8 and Sawyer Robinson ahead of him. It's crazy. Only other name I would highlight would be Wheatley. I think the Panthers at Zachy Wheatley's a safety. Yeah. And Virgil for the Cards. I thought the drop with the contact wasn't egregious. I don't think so either, Dana. I think what I'm looking at Reggie Virgil is just drops in general, regardless of how they happen, because he had that problem in college. I've been on record saying that I think that he's a draft gem if he cleans that up, because I've seen Reggie at his best, and Reggie is fucking awesome. So, but yeah, if he cleans that up, if he's one of the very few that cleans that up throughout his career, you guys are going to be fine. That's what I'm saying. Marvin Harrison Jr. should be nervous after this game. In my humble opinion, he should be very nervous. So the possibility that, not only Michael Wilson is awesome and he's going to take a step up, but I don't know. After this game, I don't know. I think his seat is getting a little hot on people thinking that he's going to be the guy. But we'll see. This is all speculation beforehand. But anything you want to say before we get out of here, Lincoln?
Nothing much, but it's a pretty good game. I really enjoyed it, and most of the time, I just saw Kenny Pickett just pissed in the bench.
Yo, if anybody's got a screenshot of that shit, it'd be hilarious. It's like the one meme of the bald-headed Indian dude that's standing at the door with his hands on his hip, with his head tilted. That's what it was like. But yeah, I'll be out of here, man. We'll roll this thing back when I get back that Tuesday. We'll start having our regular shows. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a tan for sure. So, appreciate you, Dana, and everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming through. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the game, and we'll get out of here, man.